So I'm gonna start reballasting here my recycled track. I know it looks pretty rough right now, this recycled track, but it is all leveled out. It's all powered up. It's just ready to get blended in now. So you can see my ballast. I've just sprayed it with wet water. Just a little Windex bottle with some water and a couple drops of dishwashing detergent. I use diluted carpenter's glue or diluted white glue to hold all my scenery down. You can see with the wetting agent, the wet water, you can see the diluted carpenter's glue just goes right on and spreads out. You can give it another spray if you want to encourage more action like that. So I need to make a few junk piles to, kind of sizzle up the scene here around the car shop. And I've got quite a nice collection of scraps I've saved from various things. And also, I just sort of inherited a bunch of like resin skins or something. Kind of cool. So I'm gonna try to do something with them. This little junk pile I made. I take a bunch of scrap and I just CA it to like a piece of thin styrene or whatever, and painted my thumb. Good job. So I just kind of hit it with a little primer, and then I'll probably paint on this for a while and see how it comes out. Here's another one. I just dripped some thin CA onto this pile of scrap here, and I save all my shavings and cuttings. And once this is all painted up, I think it'll look kind of cool. Here's another one. Each junk pile will be a unique reflection of, I don't know, all the past projects I've done, I guess, where I saved all my scrap. So here's some progress. I got some extra barrels and stuff I painted up. These were some, I think, Berkshire Valley like cast resin junk piles that were on the layout before, so I just brought them into the shop to kind of refresh them a little bit. And these are my custom, I know this is like, man, it's like really thin resin, like some failed castings that I bought a bunch of detail parts and they threw this in there, and I was like, well, hey, let's experiment with it. So I don't know, I'm trying to get that sheen off there though, but it looks like, like an old scrap boiler shell or something. So at this point, with the basics covered here, I am now at the point where I'm gonna do some of the environmental detailing here. So I've got all my junk piles kind of laid out where I think they should be, and these are a combination of some of the junk piles that were already on the layout that I just took back to the shop to refresh, and I'm just kind of moving them around, seeing where I think they should generally be. These are kind of those recycled resin pieces I made piles out of. So I got a couple of homemade junk piles and some, I think, Berkshire Valley resin castings here. And I laid out the service pad the way I think it should be. I put these hairpin rails in here. These are some Protocraft parts, brass, and I soldered some, I can't remember if this is 39 thou or 40 thou brass wire in there. I soldered this all together. I thought this was a nice spot to put this rail. And these are my modified Rail King towers. I had cut the bases off. This one comes out easier. I cut the bases off. There's these big bases they mold onto the bottom of these with some ears so you can screw it to your layout. And I ended up cutting that off, and I glued a square of styrene in there with a tube coming out. just out of my scrap box. So it's kind of a locator pin, and it helps kind of stabilize it. This one's a little loose because I had to drill a hole on an angle, kind of made a mouse hole here. This one fits a little tighter, but I kind of weather the bases the same way I did the rest of my service pad here. And I got this Weaver sand tower that is so nice. I really like this thing a lot. And I was originally going to keep this kind of basic, but I think I'm going to fudge it a little bit and sort of make a little diesel servicing area, fueling, sanding area. So I got to come up with some diesel fuel standoffs or whatever. So I'm looking around. I know MTH Rail King made a set of those. Maybe I'll seek them out, but they'll probably go in later. Right now I just wanted to get the big stuff placed. So this is on some pegs. You see I had to shim it because there's a little wobbliness over here. And I'll add a bunch more details, but right now I'm just trying to do the general placement of stuff. So at this point, I'm going to do some of the final fine ground detailing. So I'm getting my junk piles placed and embedded in. So I'll push the dirt around, and I've got some wet water here and some diluted carpenter's glue. And I'm just going down my service road right now and just hitting some lines here. This is how I do it. Just grab a little. I got some stuff here, and just paint a little line of glue here. And I just sprinkle a little magic over it there, you know, and then just keep going down the street. And I'll do some grasses and stuff. This is my scenery cart here, and eventually I'll do some nice grasses. I think this is the 6mm stuff, and just keep going. So here's the less eventful end of the car shop. I had this kind of blank spot and wanted to kind of have a section that was sort of a little open. So I set this Altoona stack off to this side of the shop. So if I shoot video out of these windows eventually, it won't get in the way. And I got my resin skin junk piles embedded into the scenery here, and I really enjoy these. Like I said, these were sent along with some detail parts I got. And they were just in a separate little baggie labeled as scrap metal. And I like how they just show, I don't know, maybe like the fragility of a man-made industrial object slowly decaying back into its natural elements, you know. And I don't know, kind of cool, I guess. But they're really neat. I have them set here, so, you know, when I film trains coming through here, you know, I have this setting the foreground. And I think that would be pretty nice, you know. And I got a little oil tank here, and this I've had this since I was a kid. This was from my Mark's Yardmaster set. This is the only survivor from the work caboose, which I've since replaced. I restored the whole set quite a long time ago, and I guess the work caboose was this thing on a flat car with a little shack, you know, and it's been repurposed as a little oil tank or something. And I guess the final element here is this nice utility service pole, and I really like to model these, you know. And this was made out of a, you know, a 1/4-inch dowel and some scrap wire and styrene and stuff like that. And the top crossbars here are some either precision scale or Wiseman parts. They're like either cast bronze or whatever. And they got these nicely rendered insulators. And I made some overcurrent protection on the primaries. And I've got the primaries wired up as oh, I forgot, as Y, I guess. They're set up as that. And the secondaries come into this riser pipe. I brought them all in so the electricians, you know, down in the basement can set them up any way they want. But I don't know. It's mostly stylized. It might be kind of right, but anyway, I like to model these things because you see them everywhere and you just kind of take them for granted, and it's just something that's, you know, part of the scene. So this is kind of this end of the building. I think I'm done almost. So I think I'm going to leave this project where it is for now. I think it's very presentable, not quite complete yet, as I want to add some more details to my diesel servicing area here, like in a way of some fueling facilities. But I think it's very presentable at this point, and I can clean up now and move on a little bit, play with some other projects. I've got some wiring projects, I've got a few engine projects. Like I said, I'd like to get back to that M1B here. I've got parts on order for it, and I'm hoping they show pretty soon. But this is kind of where we're at. I think it's pretty cool. It was a lot of work, a lot more work than I thought, but it was super fun. I try to learn something new on every project, play with a bunch of different ideas. And I think this is going to be a pretty nice addition to the layout. And now I've got this, because I pushed the shop back a ways, I've got this kind of area cleared out a little more for unfettered view of my trains going by and stuff. Yet it's got these cool elements like the floodlight towers and the nice Weaver brass sanding tower here. These like vertical elements to kind of split up the scene, you know, and I think it should be cool. I'm going to move these platforms around a little bit. They're loose, and I don't know, man. I hope you guys liked my amateur narration. I just kind of tried to do it stream of consciousness style, I guess. I don't know. I was just also trying to stay productive, but give some quick updates on this whole project here. And I started the car shop, I think, back in May. Kind of left it alone for a couple months, and then got back on it here. I guess a few weeks ago, and then now it's ready to do its thing.